on with it once again, people, humanity, bros, women, fanboys, and fangirls, and as always, fangirls and fangirls, of course, as always, otakus and inkikomodis out there. This is Nintendo Sony Free 2011, aka Manny Wolverine. You guys know the rest of the intros and outros towards the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that good, beautiful stuff. And today, I apologize if you hear a little bit of a difference in my voice. I just woke up from a nap. I was just tired of shit from working on my job. A few people have been on my channel for a while. You know, I'm like this. Look at this little hotel casino strip out in Vegas. But if you don't know, then you fucking know. Oh, and before anyone asks, if I'm one of the blackjack people, I'm definitely not one of those, because you have to be almost professional as fuck when you math on that. And when I was in middle school, high school, I always sucked at fucking math. So there's that. Definitely not. That's not my age range. As much as I love you guys, I know I say this a lot, but I gotta have to let it be known. As much as I love you, you know I do. Love my subscribers to death. You guys are absolute badasses. And for viewer that watches my video, you guys are awesome too. You guys are the shit. Definitely. You're awesome as hell. But the thing is, at the end of the day, when it comes to YouTube or any other social media site in general, you know, I'm not like a real super mega popular person. I never will be. I just gotta face that's just pretty much what reality is for me. It's not even being a negative asshole or nothing. It's just being 100% realistic. That's how a lot of people usually are or aren't going to be. If they ever do get some sort of fame or clout, as a lot of younger kids say, a lot of clout, a lot of fucking clicks and views on their channels or whatever social media site they're using, like, that's the thing. Even if they get really big, you always got to realize, and any of my subscribers that listen to this, we're still strangers at the end of the day. We really don't know what people are how they act when they go off camera, or there's still going to be especially if it's like a really sweet, nice person that's on social media, they act like a really nice, sweet little angel, whether it's a dude or a chick or whatever, because, you know, nowadays, this whole gender fluidity crap, which I don't agree with. Maybe some of my subscribers do agree with that. They're young, crazy little teenagers, possibly. I don't believe in that. I think that shit is just some government bullshit that's going on. It's not really, you're born like this, like the whole LGBTQ thing or whatever. I'm not going to even get into that shit. Anyways. Yeah, long story short, even the people that are like hundreds of thousands of millions plus subscribers that are a big YouTuber or other platforms I don't know about besides, you know, the typical Twitters, Facebooks, Instagrams, Snapchat, and even TikTok, which I didn't even know what the fuck TikTok was till last year. I don't know if it came out last year or before that. It's something I really don't give a shit about. Maybe some of my younger audiences probably do. It's all good, and I have no problem with that at all. You want to do what you want to love, that's all good. It's just... yeah, just always keep in mind, my bottom line is this. These people are still strangers. You don't know how they are in real life, in their actual life, when they're off the camera, when they're off social media. You have no idea how these people are. They could be one of the biggest fucking asshole pieces of shit on the fucking planet, and you would never know it, because you never seen them, you never hung out with them for a day, or any of that shit. Even when you go to these conventions, like, yeah, you may end up meeting your famous celebrity like YouTuber or Facebooker or Instagrammer or some big shiny social media influencer you've always wanted to meet, and you come to realize, hey, that's cool. You only see it for a few seconds, and then after that, after you're done taking pictures or maybe an autograph with them, you go back home and go back to your normal life. It's like, it's really not really big of a deal at the end of the day. They're still humans, which sometimes that's debatable, but I'm not getting into any of that shit either. But yeah, let's get on to this. I already wasted 3 minutes of your time, so I apologize. So, Atari is delaying crowdfundings for VCS console deliveries until spring. So this comes from VentureBeats, comes from Dean Takahashi. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Takahashi. So I'm going to read this whole thing here. And yeah, let's get into it. Hopefully it works. It says, Atari said it has some delays shipment of the VCS gaming console until the spring. Second time it's done so far for fans to place their pre-orders in Indiegogo. It is the latest time, including contractor resignation. The console launch is growing slower than planned. Chief operator Michael Arch said in a post last week that the Atari VCS is shipping Indiegogo supports. As previously promised, those who pretended the machines are $250, pre-ordered their machines for $250 plus could still get their deliveries ahead of the general ship in the March for the broader launch. Hopefully I don't skip anything. I might, though, so bear with me. Let me get a drink real quick before I keep going. Alright, so it also goes on to say Wyatt, a co-creator of the Xbox and Co-founder of the last game board said that he quit as the lead architect for Atari, and he said that the Atari does not pay his company, Tin Giant, for 6 months of work. Atari did not respond to a request for the comment on the claim, but the company did say that the VCS will ship soon. Hopefully this stuff's still working, because if not, that's going to suck. I have to read on my phone instead. Art said that the early adopters' delay was due to the due to the need to certify the hardware. Back in March, the company delayed the launch for the first time when it was said that it will be upgraded to the hardware and will go AMD Ryzen microprocessor for the advanced micro devices. I guess this is the CEO talking, the one that created this newer modern day version of what Atari is going to be like. I don't know. When we adjusted our schedule back in March 2019, we were aiming for a year-end 2019 delivery growth for the Indiegogo backers. Art said, wait, hold on. I almost lost my thing there. Art said in his post, for our certification and the test cycling, now we realize for a few more weeks and anticipated for our teams. Our team's factories, suppliers, partners are working incredibly hard to make it happen, but as we know, the devil is in the details. I never heard of that sort of expression before, how the people use the devil, but anyways, let's move on. And we can win or lose a few days during each remaining step, and we'll be updating our Indiegogo backers as soon as we have a final day, unquote. Atari began talking about $3 million in funding, but the machine went through a number of redesigns and challenges in management. The VCS, Atari's classic machine, but it can play Atari games such as the Atari 2600, but it's purely not a retro console. The game has a modern hardware and it runs up to a Linux operation system, so the fans can get more games. Yeah, games has a modern hardware. You get modern games onto run the machine as well. Alright. Yeah, I guess that's it. The older content. I don't know if it still has something to do with Atari, but if it does, I don't care. You guys can read the rest of it. So, yeah, overall thoughts, views, and opinions on this thing. To be honest, I don't know, man. I mean, I've been hearing some people that are really, really high-class technology people that know about microprocessors and Nintendo processors, which I kind of know some certain stuff about that, because as I said in some of my videos, not all, but some. I did, like, do my little 4 years of college university shit when I was, like, trying to be, like, some computer engineering degree and shit, which I kind of know some stuff about that here and there, but I don't get too much into detail, because I don't want to say I get people jealous, because sometimes I might trigger them, and, you know, it's the last fucking thing I want to do to people. But yeah, I will say this. I heard a lot of bad things about this shit already. A lot of people are getting way pissed the fuck off that they're not getting their thing until March of 2020. Which by then I know there's a lot of video game stuff that's going to be coming out by that point. But that's neither here nor there. My own overall thoughts, views, and opinions on it. Atari, I don't know why the fuck they chose Indiegogo. I don't know why they just didn't choose Kickstarter like a lot of other places usually do. They choose Kickstarter. Because a lot of people know about that way more compared to like GoFundMe or Indiegogo. But hey, that's fucking that's their choice, I guess. So I'm gonna start reading from my phone really quick, just in case it doesn't fucking start up over here. Okay. It says Tron Evolution. As you guys can see the title. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. There it is. Unplayable 8 years after launch date to the DR. Let me get this shit out the way real quick. I honestly had no idea there was like a Tron Evolution game, because I remember back in they made the remake in 2010. I went to go see it in theaters really quick. I'm just getting my overall thoughts, views, and opinions on this real fast. I'm only going to read half the article. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's super long as hell. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to read the whole thing. So, there's that. And that fucking 2010 remake of Tron Legacy, holy fuck, that movie was so fucking badass. It was like one of the coolest things back in 2010. I think it was sophomore or junior at the time when I was still doing community college and then university after that. One of the best fucking movies I've probably seen him personally for my own entire life. I hate some of the story didn't make sense. I think some people got upset about that at that time, but for me, I didn't care. I just like how the graphics and all the CGI and all the fucking music was. The music in that fucking movie was fucking badass. And the only other movies I could compare it to as far as futuristic sort of movies go was like the ones that came out for the past few years, which is the remake for Blade Runner, which was Blade Runner 2051, and then the other one like Ready Player One. Those movies were really badass too. Other than that, yeah, let's get into it. So it says Tron Evolution. This comes from Robert and Adams from Game Revolution. Evolution is a game rather familiar with the stories these days. A license expires a studio closes, and then something else like that happens in the game. Gets removed from Steam, with a little more than usual secure ROM license also appears to have lapsed, and the owners of of the game also find Tron Evolution entirely unplayable. Yesterday I decided to play Tron Evolution, maybe even practice speedrunning it. So I installed the game, tried to activate it, and still uses secure ROM DRM, and the serial key has expired. Read a submission to the subreddit, and then some other users I guess are talking. In reality, anyone who has ever played the game doesn't have to install it and launch it again at least once right away. Players can play the game, probably can't play the game probably ever again. Submission continued. The Reddit submissions goes on to state that the poster is unsure whether to secure DRM for Disney. I don't know why the fuck that came out. Secure KMRN DRM for Disney. Disney's fault whether they do it or not. That is mainly not if all serial keys have been revoked, efficiently rendering the game entirely unplayable. This is the solution for the problem, but it's not the most ideal for one that is most owns it most, looking to do a fresh installment. From what I understand and confirmed, there's the only way to be able to play it is also have to be installed and activated before it happens. After it installs the game, you can deactivate the keys so it won't work. And there's a lot more extra stuff about how DRM is and why in the hell this shit never launched the way it probably was supposed to on PC. Because I do remember I did hear a little bit about a Tron, yeah, I gotta go more about thoughts, using opinions. You guys can read the rest of this article on your own, because slow shitty computer keys going slow as fuck. So I'm gonna have to leave it in the link in the description box down below if you want to read this more article yourself. Very fascinating shit, but at the same time I'm a little sad. Let's go into more overall thoughts, views, and opinions. Personally, for me, I think I did hear it because this is when the Xbox 360 and a PS3, along with the Wii at the time. These were the three big consoles that were big at that time, 2009, 2010, and then 2011, I guess, like a year before the PS4, and then Xbox One came out in 2011, 2012, I think. At that time, like, holy shit, I didn't even hear that much about it. I might have seen a commercial on it before, but I never did get to play this game as much as I would have loved to play this shit, because I heard a little bit about it at the time, but personally, I just really, I'm not sure, because a lot of, you know how in the 90s and 2000s, I'm not sure, it depends on who you ask, I guess, depends, especially with age. When I was a 90s kid, early 2000s kids, a lot of video games, or, excuse me, sorry about that. A lot of video games, not even video games, a lot of movies that always went to TV shows, they usually sucked a lot of ass. Because they never kept the same voice actors, they never kept the same, like, mainly a lot of, like, animation, like cartoon movies over live action movies. They will always transition into, like, oh, if they were really, really successful, and the people that owned the original franchise of that company or whatever it was that made that movie, and they transition over into, like, cartoons, sometimes they would suck. And other times, for me personally, they would be really cool. It depends on who you ask. I'm not sure if they still do that in the 2010s in this decade now. I'm not surprised, because I think the last time I saw that was years ago. Many people remember that DreamWorks movie. I forgot who it was. I remember Chris Rock and Ben Stiller were like the voices in that thing. Oh! If any people remember the Madagascar movie, if any people, they didn't make a whole, like, show, spin-off TV series about that, but they did it for the penguins for some reason. I guess maybe because little kids like penguins. That show sucked fucking ass. I mean, no, granted, I was like, I think it was 24, 25 when that came out. I was already a grown man at that time. And not saying that a lot of adults don't watch cartoons, because there are probably some adults who still watch cartoons, regardless if they have kids or if they don't have kids. I mean, once in a while, I'll watch an American cartoon. Most of the cartoons I usually watch are mainly anime most of the time, obviously. But yeah, that's all I got to say for now. It's sad that this game didn't really go really big on PC. For a lot of PC gamers, that must have been a shot in the foot for them. So hopefully they get it in the future. And if they ever get a remake, again, for a Tron movie, hopefully Disney, even if they fucked up the story a few times before, I'm hoping that they do better in the story. So that way it goes just as good with the graphics and the nice little, like, green screen effects that they use for the CGI computer models and all that shit that they use for movies nowadays a lot. And that's it. That's all I got to say for now. I'm out of here. Peace out once again, ladies and gentlemen, bros, women, fanboys, and fangirls. As always, I'm talking to YouTube buddies. I'll see you when I see you guys. Good day, have a good night, wherever you're at in the universe out there. Stay tuned for more video gaming industry news, anime, manga news, internet news, and apps of the video. Peace out, my sauerkraut. Ladies and bye. See you on the flip side.